Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 53 of the Bonehead Podcast, where we talk all things Blood Bowl. Welcome back. I'm Ben, and once again, I'm joined by Blood Tithe Ben.
Hello. How you doing?
Who we actually have on camera as well, which is quite cool.
Finally, we've got I've got a setup now. I've got lights. I've got a green screen, which I'm hoping is working.
So if you guys are watching on our YouTube feed, you can see that we're still working out a couple of technical difficulties, but it's still coming along. And those of you listening,
not been a smooth night.
Yeah. It's been chaos. It's been amazing. Windows, Discord, everything is reset, and then just as we sat down to record, Amazon turned up at Ben's house. So
doorbell at 8 p.m.
I can only assume that something sweet was delivered. So
that's right. I'm not sure. Could be anything.
That's disappointing. I thought it was going to be something cool for your
me too.
Impending holiday, but no.
Much needed holiday.
Yeah. Anyway, man, before we move on, how you doing? You right? What's been going on?
Yeah, no, it's been good. It hasn't seemed like too long since the last one. It's just everything's a blur now. Everything really is a blur. We say that every time, but it's just,
it's October.
I feel like
this is ridiculous.
How did it become October?
We've been doing the whole lockdown thing now for 8 months.
Yeah.
What was your stat that you put in the group chat the other day?
Yeah, apparently 10% of my adult life is in lockdown, which has just flown by.
That is ridiculous. I'd be surprised if you didn't have at least another 5%.
Yeah, probably.
Literally, it's winter time and everything's bad on the news. Hopefully, everyone is staying safe. That's the most important thing. And I know it's quite good that the stuff that's on the news is that people want people to do more stuff to be safe, which is really cool. Yeah. Whereas the government's like, go to work. So I don't know. It's feeling very World War One here at the moment. Everyone's on the front lines, and everyone's wearing masks. So what can you do?
There,
yeah, exactly. Okay, Ben. So what are we going to be talking about on episode 53?
Today we're going to be talking about turbo leagues, also some wish listing for what we want to see in Blood Bowl 2020.
Definitely.
And also the usual games, hobby, and star players.
Fantastic. Ben is exactly right. We're going to do the normal. We're going to talk about turbo leagues, which is how to make your league turbo, really. I mean, we'll expand on that. And then wish listing, like Ben said, is going to be us talking about what we would like to see as Blood Bowl 2020 starts to unfold. Also, you guys in the community have given us so much feedback on what you want. Literally, everyone's just screaming Khemri, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
it's like,
I feel that.
What do you want? Khemri. I'm like, oh, okay. What else do you want? Dungeon Bomb.
More Khemri.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Khemri and Dungeon Bomb.
Yeah, exactly. So Games Workshop, if you're listening, you have a very easy job. But one thing to mention is this episode is coming out on Saturday, hopefully, the 17th, which is also Games Workshop's next release preview jobby. What's it?
Indeed.
Community preview, isn't it?
Yep.
And that's going to be Blood Bowl as well. We've seen a silhouette today which had feathers and stuff, so we think it's probably just going to be Griff. But
yeah, we're trying to break it down, weren't we? Because it's Gridiron and Glory, and they've revealed some Slanesh stuff, which is obviously for the Glory side.
As in Shades.
But then they had this, like you say, this feather, which we think might be Griff, but then we looked at the silhouette and it doesn't really line up with any of the nobility teams.
Could be High Elves, man.
So,
could be High Elves.
I don't know.
I know. This is the crazy thing. They're doing this preview, but so much stuff has already been kind of spoiled and they've had to rush it through. So we haven't seen the trees, but I don't actually think the trees exist. I think that's just pure conspiracy. Pure conspiracy.
We've been gaslit by Games Workshop. So
exactly. Yeah. And
we have trees. Here they are.
They're going to release Blood Bowl 2020. It's going to come out. The Necro team's going to come out. Black Orcs, Imperial Nobility are going to come out. And people are going to be like, where are the trees? And they're just going to say, what trees? They already came out. They came out. Yeah. They've been out forever. They're just going to appear one day in the store, and every Games Workshop representative is just going to be like, oh yeah, these have been out for years. Really popular model. And no one's going to know what the truth is anymore. the big giants just released, and we saw them, I don't know, back when everything was in black and white. Like, I don't know.
What they'll do is they'll start including a Tree Man sprue in every 5th Sylvaneth Wildwood that gets bought.
Yeah.
So like some people will have them. They'll be like, where did I get this from?
Yeah, it's been out forever. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, right, let's move on to Blood Bowl news. Okay, Blood Bowl news. So we got a couple of bits to cover. The first is Charlie Victor, who did those cool ball rings, and they did all the human tokens and stuff. They do just insanely good stuff. And the guy who runs it is a really lovely chap as well. So they're doing Fantasy Football Casualty Dice 2020 edition. So as you all know by now, the Casualty Dice has now changed. It used to be a D66. Now it is a D60. No, it's D16, isn't it? So they've basically brewed up some new Casualty Dice. So you got a D16 with all the stuff, so badly hurt, dead, niggling injury, missed next game, that kind of stuff, plus a D6, and the D6 is for the agility, for the stat changes. So you roll them at the same time. You roll the D16, and if you get a plus symbol, the stat change, you roll the D6, and it says armor, movement, passing, agility, strength.
It's clever. It's well designed. I like it.
It is. They did these before, the injury dice, and I thought they were really good. I think Rich get something like June or July.
So. He often has like these sort of gadgets, doesn't he?
Oh, he loves the loot, loves the bling. But he picked them up just as 2020 leaked, and he was like, "Oh, for God, got these dice I can't use." So basically, they've jumped in on this. So 2 dice is £12. Okay, which is. I mean, look, this is at 3,777 Great Boris pounds at the moment, of a goal of 1,200. So they're 300%. Smashed the target in like 7 minutes. Funded in just 20 minutes. There you go. 21 days left to go. So I think £12 is. I think that £10 to £15 mark is like bang on pocket money territory.
Yeah, we've always said that the 10 especially is the real, just like you can often, sort of not realise you spent £10.
Yeah, I think that's why I love the Windsor Chog stuff so much.
Yeah.
Is because it's all between £8 and £15. And I'm like, that's not throwaway money. No money is throwaway, especially at the moment. But that's I fancy something cool. That's a good budget price. 15 quid with shipping is kind of like my treat for the month where I don't have to worry. I like it. I think it's priced well. So that is the individual set. They do have really cool things, which is a league deal. So if you want 5 sets, it's £58. So you save a couple of quid there. Literally a couple of quid. Medium league, 10 for £110, and a large league, 20 for £200. So you can save a few pounds by going in together in your league, which is pretty cool, and you'll save on shipping as well. So it's not a bad way of doing it. I think it's a really beautifully simple Kickstarter Indiegogo.
Yeah, I agree. And there's one thing with the Charlie Victor stuff is it's always, like you said it right, it's bling. It's really good quality stuff.
It is. It's beautifully made. They do really, really good work. And there's some extras there down the bottom you can swing by and get if you're interested. But
you can get the old original dice as well for like half price.
For all you 2016 or CRP holdouts, you can still get the old dice. Which is cool. So that is this is on Indiegogo, but we'll put it in the show notes. Fantasy Football Casualty Dice 2020 edition. Okay, as the PC catches up, what is next? The WARG name, STL, and physical nameplates for Fantasy Football. So those of you who follow us on social media would have seen my Snotling team, and the Snotling team has the nameplates, and Ben printed the nameplates out for me.
Yep.
So what this is it is a bunch of base labels, basically, that are made out of 3D prints. They stick on the front of your base. They say your team name, which is very cool, at the top of the bar, and then underneath it says the positional name, and you stick it on, you paint it up, and it just really, again, blings out your models. So there's a few different levels here, and that is probably worth talking through. So starting at €10. So €10 you get Bronze League reserves. which is you choose your nameplate, you choose your nameplate size, you take a basic template, random ball, you choose a race team, you get all the field rolls, and you get the STLs. So basically, it's one team's worth of STLs for €10. So you say, I want human. They send you 4 blitzers, 4 catcher. They send you the blitzers, the catchers, the ogres, so you can print them off yourself. So if you want stuff for a team with no team name, €10 is it. It goes up, it goes to Silver League where you can get things added. It goes all the way down to probably the one that some of you are going to actually care about is Bronze League, which is £28 or €30, which is physical. So 20 nameplates, and I think you get to choose your team on that as well. It goes all the way up, so you can get 20 plus nameplates with a whole bunch of stuff. But realistically, you're looking at about £30 for a bunch of nameplates produced for you, or about £20 for a little bit less than £20 for custom STLs. So they put together a demo set for us for my tiny titans with the snotlings. Ben very kindly printed them. And did you have to support them, or did they come pre-supported?
Yes, no, you do have to support them. But for stuff like this, it's pretty easy to support. I had a couple of attempts, but that was mainly my problem with I didn't level it properly. But no, they're pretty easy to support. You just sort of stick them around the rim on the bottom, do an angle. It's easy.
They printed out okay?
Yeah. Quality is pretty good as well.
Quality was
really good, actually.
Insanely good. I mean, the difficult thing is when I did the video for it, I was like, I don't know how much of this is down to Ben printing, but I assume no,
I've got like the cheapest end printer, so it'll only look better. Yeah,
that is cool. There is I'll put the link in the show notes as well for the video review of that. But if you've got a friend with a 3D printer whose backlog isn't insane, like our friend Blood Tides here, actually, to bling out a team, this is a really cool way of doing it. For every
it's
team,
also worth noting, a resin printer would be required. So if you know someone with like a plastic one, you could probably still do it, but it wouldn't look as detailed as the pictures.
Yeah, no, Ben is right. Yeah, and they do say that in the Kickstarter as well. Hey, look, it is my snotlings.
Yeah, they're there.
I didn't realize he'd put it on there. Let's see. The music. Let's turn the music off. That'll do. Hey, it's my snotling team. Oh, that's very cool. Cool. Well, if you want to see my snotling team, it's on the Kickstarter itself anyway.
Beautiful team.
Thanks. It's good fun. I need to finish it off and get more snotlings and stuff. Anyway, most importantly, that is at £476 out of a target of 363. So it is already funded and there's 27 days to go. So you got 4 weeks, guys, to jump on that. And if you want it, you'll get it. In the way of nameplates, obviously, there's already versatile terrain, but I think, Ben, this is the guy who put it together because he said versatile terrain was expensive and timely, and wanted a way to get this out to people quicker than they can do it.
Yeah, this is a good and really affordable way, actually. Like, especially considering the printed versions, the physical ones are only like, what is it? Yeah, €30.
Something like that.
20 physical ones.
Yeah.
That's a good price. Like, that's a good price point.
If you want it, and it's custom, so you get your team name, and I think that's the thing I really like about it. But I would definitely go pay that extra few euros to get the numbers on it as well, because that's something I did feedback. He was like, "Yeah, that's available in the more premium edition." I'm on board. I think it's great. I think it's a cool idea. Definitely worth looking at if you're up for some bling for a team or two. Okay, what's next on the list in Blood Bowl? Oh, Norba miniatures.
We love Norba.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So we're checking in on this. So you may have heard this before. I know we talked about this for like 8 episodes now, Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going up. It's literally, the pledge is literally going up on video. That is cool. They're up to £40,000 now. I
love that about Kickstarter, but it's scary when it's like, oh, you got to be the first 50, and you can see the number tick up. You're just like, all time is of the essence,
mate. I went straight on to back it, and I was number 60 something. I missed out on the first 50 freebies and everything.
Likewise.
This one's got 8 days to go, so is wrapping up on Friday, October the 23rd. And if you are in any way a Warhammer Fantasy Battles fan, maybe don't look at it, because the cavalry are just some of the nicest Bretonnian / Empire models I have ever seen. And this is what got me so excited, because you got those, but then you got the 2 fantasy football teams, which look as just as good. £23 for 16 plastic models, all of which are individually sculpted.
It's too good. I think something I love about these is it's like the classic Warhammer Fantasy Battle style, but with the modern polish.
Yeah.
So they've captured like the aesthetic of the classic, but yeah, it just looks new, which is really nice.
Because it is brand new. And one thing that we did get to break the news of, which I was super excited, is from talking through Norba, they were like, should we scale it up? I was like, yes, please. Yes, please. And so they've scaled it up. They've scaled their Blood Bowl teams up to the same scale as 2016 stuff.
Brilliant, Norba. Thank you.
There's always a chance it'll be a little bit smaller or a little bit larger, but quite frankly, look at the Pro Elves versus the Wood Elves. Like they're kind of, there's always that range. And oh man, if they look, I just can't wait. I've backed 2. They're all the stretch goals are absolutely flying through. There's like cool individual star players. Got a sneak peek of this Death guy, which I forgot to forward actually, because they're doing some cool stuff, and I'm so excited, and I want them to make more and more and more fantasy football. And look at that, there's 80 people that have backed the fantasy football team, and there's just how many people in total? Because 386 backers, so a bunch of those could be picking up the Blood Bowl teams as well as expansions.
It's what we've said. It's this could be the new the bar.
Mantic, this new Warlord games, the new alternative, the primary alternative.
If 88 people here have experienced this, and when the models come through, hopefully his lives up to it. This could be good. And so I'm looking at the trebuchet. This thing is awesome.
There's a trebuchet? Oh man!
Yeah, there's a Bretonnian trebuchet, and it just looks fantastic.
I need to stay away from this guy. Oh, there is a trebuchet.
Yeah.
Come on. Where's the search function? Do a better job, search function. That is cool. Like, I love seeing more miniatures come out. And yeah, I know we're big on Games Workshop because they are in charge of Blood Bowl. And we love all the third-party stuff, especially the metal stuff. Ben is crazy for metal models, especially ones with big wings.
That break off in transit, yeah.
Hey, you're not a wargamer if you haven't had wings fall off in transit. It's just a thing. Oh, my high elf Pegasus rider was the worst.
I can imagine it would never. You just have to put that in the car and just know it's not going to be in one piece at the other end.
And the worst thing is, this was back in the days where our idea of like model transit was a Jacob's cream cracker box and a ton of tissue paper. Like that. It didn't matter. Like, it arrived in the location absolutely fine. It wasn't until you took it out, unwrapped it, placed it, and then moved it. Its flying move of 12 inches. It gets there, it falls apart. It's just like, oh man. No model made it. It was so good. Anyway, they've got trebuchets as well, so please check out the Norba Kickstarter because it is just super cool. I know I sound a bit fanboy about it, but I want plastic. I want alternative plastic Games Workshop. I want alternative plastic Blood Bowl stuff. Yes, I really do. I'm sorry.
We said more Blood Bowl is more better. Having options is good. It's healthy. It's competitive.
See, Ben knows. Yes, competitive. Yeah. Good. Yes, we'll go with that. It's not competitive. It's not competition when you're just going to buy both. However, I'll take that excuse. I'll take that excuse. So that does wrap it up for miniatures and Blood Bowl news. 2 things left on the agenda today for news and whatnot. One is that MegaBowl is 17 days out now, and it is currently still being allowed. Ben and I were talking just before the show, and we've both agreed that on Monday the government will pop up and cancel it. But if you're listening on Saturday, enjoy planning for a few more days. We have got everything in place, all the social distancing requirements. We're ready to go in groups. We've got all that prepped, all that planned. So as long as it stays safe enough to have a tournament, or game day, I think is more appropriate to call it now, we'll be going ahead.
We'll be adhering to the government restrictions as they come up as well.
Massively.
So if it does turn out that it's the new, is it like tier system or something?
Yep.
If it falls into that category, then we will just cancel it.
It was quite funny. I spoke to my mother earlier today, and she was like, "Oh, we're tier 1," and I was like, "I hate what else." She had no idea. I was like, "No, tier 3 is where you want to be, Mum." She was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Tier 3 is way more fun." And she was like, "Oh, I think they're all dying." I was like, "Well, that's not..." First of all, that's not quite what the tier system means, and secondly, I'm talking about snotlings. But yeah, I like the move of the government to support our hobby by using the tier system.
Yep.
It's clearly the right thing to do. I don't know. This feels like a very good opportunity to say I hope everyone is staying safe, and
Absolutely.
I just hope everyone's hunkering down, ready for 2021 to start, and hopefully be a better place. But we wait the news, and waiting for news. Today is Saturday. Hello, everyone. Waiting for the 1:45 Twitch stream to start from Games Workshop. Gridiron and Glory. What do you think? What do you think we're going to see, Ben?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm scared to see, because it's a preview, right? So this isn't pre-order. We were expecting Necromantic pre-order.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's probably not going to be that, because it's a preview, and they tend to reveal new stuff at the preview,
which is ridiculous in my opinion right now. But
yeah,
I mean, you're right. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do the preview. I'm a massive fan of the majority of the stuff that Games Workshop make. And I know that they're fighting through a pandemic at the moment. But this whole, we're going to preview stuff that you're not going to be able to even pre-order for like a very long time. Like, not like a month. We're talking stuff like 6 to 9 months in advance. How do you feel about that?
it's a bit odd. They love the hype train, Games Workshop. They love it, but I don't know why they start setting it off so far in advance. Like, I remember we had this with Snotlings, right? We were so excited to get them, but then like they just kept delaying it, and then by the time you get them, it's just like, yay, you've got my Snotlings. If I had them like 2 months ago, I would have been like mega. I probably would have bought like 3 boxes of the things, because that's how excited I was about it.
So the Snotlings came out after Blood Bowl 2020 had been spoiled. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so Snotlings had yet to be released, and we knew the new Necromantic team was coming, and we knew Black Orcs and Imperial Nobility were coming. Now, the Blood Bowl 2020 was a bit of a disaster with regards to spoilers. So when I say like X months in advance, I appreciate that there's a ton of stuff that hasn't gone quite right for Games Workshop in that regard, but let's look at the Lumineth. Let's look at the big giants that have just landed in AOS. Those giants were spoiled in March, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And this is it. It's 6 months is so long, and I think, for my opinion, as a mega consumer with problems, like it's I don't know. It's hard to stay excited about the next thing when you already know that you kind of want to buy the thing that's coming in a few weeks or a few months' time. I don't know.
I agree. And I think it leads to, you start shopping around for alternatives in advance. We've had that with these Sons of Behemat. Like, people knew that you're going to have a giant army, but then they had like 6 months to
find a
get
different
other giants.
Yeah, and to prep and to start building for it.
Yeah, if they said, cool, you have a giant army now, next week you can buy all the giants for your army, people are going to buy all the giants for their army.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't guarantee that. That's just me speculating. But
so 2 things on that. One, did you see Mantic Games?
Yeah, that was...
Absolutely.
That was good.
Knocked it out of the park. So it's big release day for big giants for Games Workshop. Mantic just casually chuck on their social media, hey, have you seen our giant? It's £25 and it's 6 inches, and you're like, oh, just... No, 8 inches tall, and you're like, oh, this is awkward. Yeah, and the other one was who did the Orc Kickstarter recently? It was a Grebo, kind of the World of Warcraft style. The Black Orc team got spoiled immediately. They were like, let's have 2 more big Black Orcs sculpted, and boom, here's your Black Orc team from Grebo.
And now you can get a Black Orc team before it's even out. Yeah,
you get Black Orcs before Black Orcs.
This one came first.
Which
it's just, I don't know.
Now
it was a big old shoot in the foot sometimes, but
the spoilers, it leaked. It leaked. Yeah. So in that regard, that's not their fault. However, this preview, they've got 2 choices now. They can do this preview and then show us the stuff we've already leaked. Like, let's look at the stars. Let's look at what's coming in the box. Let's look at the spike and the pitch for the Necro team. They could do that, but we already know that's coming. They've already previewed that. Or they can show us more stuff. And my concern is because there's a dude, I think, that looks a bit high alphy for Blood Bowl. Okay? If they now spoil a team that isn't even in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. I think they're going one stage too far in advance.
You're so right. You really are. That's why I was thinking that when you mentioned High Elves earlier, I'm just thinking, no way, because we won't. How far away will that be?
I mean, let's assume 2020 lands in December. Let's assume that the Necro team is coming out at the end of this month, although that needs to be announced soon if it's going to land by October, by that Halloween day. So, I don't know, maybe it could be January for High Elves if they do it and it rolls right. But, dude, I don't know. I want to stay excited, but I think that window is now too long.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just Games Workshop. Magic the Gathering do a very similar thing where they've been trying to increase their revenue from Magic the Gathering. It was announced in their company strategy. And they are doing so much stuff. So they've got 4 sets a year for standard. That's what they've always done. But then there's also like 2 or 3 remastered sets a year. Plus there's like some fun stuff for Commander. Plus there's like a...
Are we going to talk about The Walking Dead?
Oh, Matt, and The Walking Dead. So they are absolutely spamming these releases as well, which is fine. And it's interesting. They're the kind of the other way. They're like, hey, we've got this cool stuff coming out in 4 weeks. And you're like, oh my God, I've just paid for the other stuff. Like, I don't know. We are having this kind of consumer boom, which is great. But yeah, I think 4 months is my limit, or at least just... I do think they lose a bit of cash because I did not buy a giant. Yeah. I didn't buy a giant because I know Necromantic is coming.
Yeah.
If I didn't know Necromantic was coming, I would have bought that giant. And then when Necromantic came, I would have bought that as well, even though it's a bad idea. And
exactly. We know too much.
Yeah. And it is slowing down the spending. Anyway, you guys listening, let us know what you think about this. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. I'm intrigued. And talking about things that are ugly, it's time to talk about my painting exploits in the hobby section. So
don't be ridiculous.
We'll take a quick break.
This is a good team.
And we'll be right back with hobby. And it's hobby time. So this is where we talk about games we've played, things we've bought, things we've built, things we've painted, just general hobby stuff. So Ben, have you had a chance to do any cool hobby recently?
I've actually done a lot of hobby.
Yes, you have.
None of it Blood Bowl, but it's just what I'm playing at the moment. I've got a friend in my bubble who we play 40k with, and yeah, so that's the game I'm currently playing. So that's why I'm playing a lot of it at the moment. When we start getting the league back and together, it'll likely be Blood Bowl again. But yeah, I feel like I've been sort of on fire a bit with 40k. I've been getting my vehicle method down.
Honestly,
so I can paint stuff really quick.
Those orc vehicles are beautifully done.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, really impressive. I really like it.
Yeah, I've been trying new stuff with oil washing. So using oils for wash, which I hadn't done before.
You should do a painting video for that.
You need to edit the last one.
Painting with Ben.
Yeah, it's coming. In 2021. Whenever Games Workshop releases Blood Bowl 2020, that's when you get a painting video.
When the tree men come. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. I think we need that on a shirt now.
There's a lot of videos on it already. It'll be quite good to do it in the context of Blood Bowl, though, which would be quite interesting. Because I think you could do some interesting stuff. It is really good for getting like proper grim dark looking stuff. It's really deep shadow, and then you could take off the entirety of the surface. So it's like what a normal wash kind of dulls the whole lot down.
Yeah. It's
like you would keep the paint underneath because you kind of just erase where you don't want it. And then the recesses are really dark.
Would it work on small scale stuff, or is it really best for big panels?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You could do. I've seen you get a few painters who do all the competition painting stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them just do entire miniatures with just oils.
That's just showing off.
And it's pretty interesting to watch.
That's just showing off.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking.
It is, but it's quick though. Like these guys can do like war bands in a day, and
for things like Man of War or spaceships and stuff. Is that the kind of thing that would help accelerate that? Because I use a lot of washes for the small scale stuff. For the small scale stuff, like I have a weird thing for 3mm tanks, because I love tanks and I love the fact that 3 pound
3mm might drown it.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. That's the thing to watch. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So no Blood Bowl hobby on the go just yet, but our league will be starting soon, in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
in theory.
That's really exciting.
3 weeks. 3 weeks yesterday, we should be able to have our first league week. We're going to have a couple of weeks of Blood Bowl 2020 games to round up. I think I get to play against Sam Frenzy Garner next week.
Oh, nice.
I'm tempted to take
Goblins. Maybe?
I think he is. I'm tempted to take the Snotlings.
That'll be an interesting match. Goblins versus Snotlings. Goblins will never seem so OP.
Yeah, I know. But on the other side, like, is it a good way to learn Blood Bowl 2020? But Sam's played plenty of. Well, he won a blooming tournament.
Oh, you're both veterans. So yeah,
it'll be fine.
It'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, which means I need to paint even more Snotlings.
You might be able to borrow some if you just need it for the league. I can probably give you some painted Snotlings.
Oh, that's the show notes. We don't want the show notes. We don't want that either. Where's my Snotling team gone? Have I lost it? I think I have. There it is. There it is. Is that it? I had a picture. There's the picture. There we go. Of my Snotling team. In the background.
This might be a common theme, actually, for Snotling teams in the league, of just asking people to borrow their Snotlings. Just like, I don't have enough Snotlings, can I have some?
Honestly, I think I'm just going to use my Noblars.
That's a good shout, actually.
Rather than buy another box. I mean, I love the pump wagons. They are so much fun once you've built the first one and accepted your fate. But I think, I don't know if I want to buy another. I want another box for Underworld. That's absolutely fine. That's going to happen. It has to happen. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to do that right now. I might just use the Chaos Noblars.
To be honest, they'll stand out as rookies.
And
that's easy to identify.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're the crowd. They're the riotous rookies that come on and do stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, I got my Snotling team very hastily painted, and the reason I very hastily painted it is because I had a game planned in with Ian Warhammer Hannam. We were going to do another match for YouTube, and unfortunately Tiff got poorly, so I did the dutiful husband thing and stayed home and didn't play Blood Bowl. But it was one of those moments where I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure I was watching NFL, or I was watching reruns or something. I was in the studio, had it on the screen, I was painting the Snotlings, and I went to bed at like 1:30, and I was like, yes, it's not perfect, they're not finished, but they will do. I'm happy with this. And then like 5:30 in the morning, we were up because she wasn't very well. I was like, oh.
Those are the best evenings when you just have like a really good session and you go to like the early hours of the morning because you just want to finish it.
Yeah,
and then it's done. You go to bed, or you take pictures and you post them in the group chat at like ridiculous early hours of the morning.
Yeah, I get that from you. We get that from you very regularly, and Ian. To be fair, like we'll have like a random post from him at like 12:30, and he's just finished this insane model.
Different. So Ian actually gets up in the morning as well. Where I'm struggle with that part. But...
Yeah, he's stay-at-home dad. Yeah. So I think while she's down for a nap, he gets to just do a cheeky little bit of painting. But anyway, I did get the team mostly painted. I can go back now at my leisure and do actual highlighting, I missed a few tongues and stuff. But I can now go back and do the bellies and things when I'm ready. The flock was a bit brighter than I remember. Then I realised it was because it was my Bacchus flock. And Bacchus is 6mm. So I accidentally used short grain rather than my standard one. But I got to play with little... What did I use? Oh, it's actually just called bushes. Got my model zone stuff out, which is cool. I love fancy basing. I think that's why I like the small scale stuff so much. It's because
it adds so much to it. Just having a good base.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. That was my goal. I mean, I think I did this for all of the 7 Super Series teams last year. This year, some year. Was it last year? I don't even. Yeah, it must have been last year. Back when we could see each other.
Yeah.
And I like spammed 5 teams out of an evening, and. Yeah, there's a difference between painting 7 guys and 27 guys. Like,
I do remember that. Yeah, you were just like, yeah, we're recording tomorrow. I'm just like, do you want to handle the team? Like, no, I've got this. 2 hours later, just like, Ben, I've done them all.
Yeah, I got most of them done. I think the human team, I had to wait an extra day to finish. But yeah, they're not great.
They look fine on camera.
Exactly, and you can go back then at a later date and do the edge highlighting and stuff, and you never do, but they're mostly finished. That's fine. I love the trolls. Use the gut rock Troggoths. To be fair,
a good shout.
Those are pre-built ones that Milton gave me. He was like, get rid of these trolls. Does anyone want them? I was like, yes, please. So I've got a sealed box of rock gut Troggoths somewhere. That saved me a lot of effort as well. So I just love them. But it did feel like painting an AOS thing. Like I based like 22 miniatures, and I was like, wow, this is the most miniatures I have painted for a single anything in a massive amount of time, like maybe ever. Actually ever. Yeah, I think that's personal best right there. It is a unit.
Right, it's a unit.
And if there was a way to use this in AOS, I would be right there, because this is a fun way to do stuff. So, painting Snotlings, 10 out of 10, recommend. Right, what else has been going on, Ben? Any games or anything?
I don't think so. Oh no, there was. I don't know if I said this on the last one. I taught a friend Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I know we talked about it, but I can't remember if it was on the cast or not.
Yeah, I don't think I did. Yeah, it was my same friend who I play 40k with. His name's Chris. He's a great guy. And he said oh yeah, checked out your podcast, and it's really cool. And he kind of fancied a game, because he said, yeah, sure, we'll play a game for Blood Bowl. So I offered him some of the teams I had. I said, you got this choice. He said, I quite like dwarves. And I'm just like, do you? But basically, I advised against it purely just from while they'd be good to learn, I haven't had them painted, and they were all kind of looking the same. And if you're learning like positions and stuff, it's handy to be able to identify.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, with like jokes aside, I just didn't think it'd actually be that suitable to learn. So I said, like, there's some other choice. He likes Skaven as well. So I said, okay, Skaven are good. Skaven are good to learn with. Very forgiving team, simple. Yeah, we'll do Skaven. And I went up against my High Elves, because they were also simple stats.
So it was a 2016 game then?
It was 2016. Yeah, I said we'll just do current rules, just because one is familiar to me, and I don't want to teach stuff that even I'm not confident on.
Well, we had problems when we played sevens, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, going back. But no, it was good. Yeah, I sort of did it like a tutorial, kind of like how Blood Bowl 2 teaches it, where it's kind of
nice.
Here is the ball, run the ball to the end zone, and then you're just like, and now there is a guy in the way. How are you going to get past? You have two options. You can dodge or block. And
you dungeon mastered this. That's wicked.
It was, yeah, it pretty much was. Like, then, as he was running, I'm just like, aha, but there is a guy in the way now. Put player down, and he has a friend. Here's like the advantage, like, yeah, and I did say like it's basically advantage disadvantage, because he's a D&D player, experienced D&D player.
Perfect.
So I sort of used it in that reference where it's advantage disadvantage, and then
it really is, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, rolling 2 dice, it's pretty much
dice pool mechanics are like that. I like that. Oh, nicely done. Who won in the end?
Yeah, he loved it. He won. He actually beat me. We played a half. We played one half because obviously learning. But I didn't go easy. Like he pulled out all the stops. It just snagged straight away. He is a smart guy and a good player. So
well, if he survived 40k,
and he's always been in puzzle solver. I think he was a chess player in school and stuff like that. Wow. He's always had that kind of logical mind, so it kind of really just fell into place, and he's really looking forward to playing again. So drag him to the league.
Yeah, sometime. Bring him down to the league. No, that's wicked. I got a game in. It's on YouTube now with Ian. I did get a game in with Ian. Kind of thought we should try and do what we could for content before anything mega lockdown happened down south. And I played dwarves. I played dwarves. We just thought we'd play around with teams. Ian chose some teams, and it was dwarves versus goblins, because Ian loves to be the underdog. He played me with played my Skaven with his halflings on our previous game. So both these are on the YouTube channel, which is just a few people away from hitting 2,000 subscribers now, which is really cool. So if you are listening and you're not following, please give us a little subscribe. It would be awesome. But yeah, got a game in with dwarves, and I played them like Skaven, which was hilarious. I actually did. I side caged at one point. and I don't know. I thought they were fine. But man, it felt a little bit OP, just putting the blockers next to goblins and just being like, right, you're moving. It was just the most blue player thing anyone's ever done on a Blood Bowl pitch.
Nice dodge. Nice dodge you have there,
No,
why is it not armbar then? Why is it not armbar?
Dude, I know, it's crazy, but it was a much closer game than it could have been, and it was a proper game. It wasn't a maul. Well, it was a maul. I like many dwarves were killed against goblins. Yeah. I think it's probably the way I played them, but I actually had fun playing dwarves. So I apologise to those of you out there, including Graham, who is our kind of resident dwarf apologist. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Ian had a great game. Goblins are fun. Well, we said this before that actually they got hurt a little bit this edition with the lack of star players. No, they just have to use the players they've got in their roster.
And they have a lot. They have a few built-in star players, don't they? So
yeah, and I like that. I thought it was really good. We both paid about $1 million build. Ian didn't use a bombardier. Did he use a pogo? I'm not sure if he used the pogo actually. If he did, I killed
definitely
it quickly.
Diver and Fanatic, didn't he?
And the chainsaw. But he might have gone for a bigger bench, knowing that he was against dwarves. Yeah, he probably did. Which was fine. He took 2 bribes as well, so that's 100k. However, from going through the star players again on YouTube, star player spotlight, looking at all the star players in Blood Bowl 2020, what teams they can play for and whatnot, I'm pretty sure Goblins get some really good stars. In fact, I think they get access to Hackflem now.
I think you're right, because the Snotlings get them as well, isn't it? I think all the Stunties, or they actually Halflings probably don't, but like the
Halflings get Griff.
Yeah,
and Carla and stuff. I think this is we talked about star players.
Underworld fellas, isn't it? Get Hackflem.
Yeah, where is it? Where are you, Hackflem? Favoured of or Underworld Challenge. So no, I don't think they get for Hackflem actually.
Are Goblins not Underworld Challenge?
No, I don't think they are. Let's have a look.
Snotlings are, right?
Oh yeah, no, Goblins are. Yeah, Underworld Challenge.
Yeah.
They do get Hackflem. So I don't know. I think that's what we'll see. We could potentially see once people when the mentality shifts to the new edition. I think Hackflem for 180k on a Goblin team is going to allow you to do Goblin-y stuff, but also you've got a Strength 3 Gutter Runner who's going to be able to do insane amount of things. So I don't know. We could see Stunties winning games regularly on the reg. So it could be quite cool. I know. I'm very up with that. Points at Snotling team. Hackflem Snotlings, that's where it's at. I do need to still build Grack and Crumbleberry, but actually I did some hobby other than my Snotlings.
Yeah.
I actually undercoated both my Windsor Chog elf stars, so Willow and can't remember her name, Glorial Summerbloom.
Glorial?
Yeah. Didn't have any white spray, so I used my green. And I don't know. I went through like a brown undercoat phase and the white undercoat phase. Now I'm into a green undercoat phase because it's all I've got, and it's working brilliantly. Oh,
do you think anything natural, anything new, like if you can't do like your grey and stuff like that, just a neutral tone as always, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
like a natural one.
I think this green undercoat is going to work really well because one's wood elfy and one's a tree, so that brown green effect will work brilliant. I do need to get some more brown spray so I can finish off all blooming 30 of my mana warships. Just for something else to do. However, I'm really hoping, Ben, that we get Necro in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that will be exciting.
That's a brown undercoat team as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that team will be pretty quick to paint up. And then you just got to do some pumpkins, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I think
you've got to do a sheet, which is white.
Yeah, but you can work that up from a brown undercoat. I really like the army painter coloured undercoats. I think Entoyment does sell them, so I'll have to pick up a can of grey, a can of brown while I'm there. Just helps with everything. So yeah, that is about it for me for hobby and games and stuff. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's about it as well. Again, it's been quite quick, but actually quite a lot has been done. So,
and you've got a nice week off planned, Ben, which is very nice.
Yeah, I've got the next week off work, which is awesome. I was considering taking some Blood Bowl teams to paint up while I'm away. Just having a weekend away and just like a caravan, basically, just chilling out with the girlfriend, and yeah, it's just going to be really nice. So just kind of somewhere in the middle of nowhere, away from people, away from work, and just reset. It's going to be good.
Well, I hope you're going to be allowed to travel in and out of there and everything, and there's not going to be affected by lockdown.
I think Cornwall's pretty it's pretty safe,
rural.
But it's about our place if we're allowed to leave. So we'll have to see. It's on Monday, so everything will change on Monday.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. And I had a bit of time off as well. It was Tiff's birthday, which was really lovely. We went nowhere, obviously, but we did find a cool cocktail bar down the road in the middle of Hythe, where we live. And Hythe is like a retirement village. So, and this
is such an odd place for a cocktail bar.
And this place had opened up during lockdown as well. So we went for there's a cool grill and burger place. So we went there for dinner. And as we were walking around there, on the corner, we were like, oh, that's that place that used to be an Italian restaurant is now a cocktail bar. Maybe we'll go in there for cocktails afterwards, as long as we're out by 10. So we popped in, and it was really lovely. We had a booth, and everyone was wearing masks. It was really separate. It was really good. And naturally, because this is what we do, we just got talking to the owner, because that, we're like one of 10 people in there. And we were like, why? And he was like, yeah, people keep asking me that. I was like, well, how long have you been here? He's like, oh, we opened about 3 months ago. And I'm like, was that even legal? And yeah. He's like, yeah, people say that Heinz really close after like 7 o'clock. And I'm like, well, of course it is. That's when Emmerdale's on. Like, this is this is where
Southampton has a line of just pure water, and all the students are on one side of it. And like,
basically,
you can't easily get across.
It's late night Hythe ferry trips. I don't know, but it was wicked. I drank some purple drinks and had sambuca, and it was just absolutely lovely. It was good. It was really good. I'm feeling way better about everything after a few days of just chill. I actually started catching up on some of my Discord messages today as well. So you guys out there who are in a Discord, sorry I've not been around. It's been hectic. I started working through all the PMs I've got on there. So give me a week to catch up. But I'm looking forward to getting some more stuff on the go with the Discord. And oh my goodness, Ben, one thing we haven't talked about is the story competition.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We got 22 entries. Rob's got 2 more to share with us, and we got some reading to do. So over the next week, we'll be going through all of the entries and then sending off our favourites to Andy Hall, our guest celebrity judge from the Black Library. So hopefully we should know the winner by the end of the month. It may not be in time for the episode that lands on October 31st. I think with the timeline and everything, it will probably be the first episode in November that the winner is announced. But I did start warming up some of the audio recordings today. There's some really good ones. It's going to be fun to do and hopefully fun to listen to. And seriously,
it's a lot to read, so it might take a little bit longer than they usually do. So,
yeah, I mean... Yeah. We've got 22 entries that I've logged. Rob's got a couple, and we are at just under 50,000 words from all those entries. Smallest was 600, biggest was 5,200. Like, it's so cool. And there's some serious stuff. It's so good. I'm so excited to share this with everyone. So thank you so much for everyone who's entered. We're gonna have to really up our game. For what comes next, but give us a month to catch up, and then we'll go into November. Then it's going to be Christmas, and I've got some stuff planned that I actually haven't cleared with Ben yet, so we'll do that later. We'll talk through that later, because we're going to have a good December. We're going to have a good December regardless of what the world is doing. Once we get through this MegaBowl situation, once we go into November, we should have a clearer view of what's happening with Blood Bowl 2020 with the Necro team. And we can start making plans, because it's time to start looking at next year's tournaments and things. And I'm inclined to book all 4 again and just hope they're all right. What do you think, Ben?
I think so. I think it's better to plan and cancel than to just never not have it, and it would have been fine, if that makes sense. Yeah,
we've cancelled our wedding now. Because that was looking ropey. We didn't want to spend X grand for 15 people, because at that point it's hundreds and hundreds per head, and it's just pointless. So we've basically pushed it back exactly a year, and we are getting married at Registry Office Star on the same day. So still planned for May 22nd. And we've booked the venue for the year after. And what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary and have a big party for about a fifth of the price, because no one's going to use the word wedding, because we'll already be married.
Exactly. Which is the way to go.
Yeah.
That's got a lot to learn from doing that, because that seems like a good shout.
It was Tiff's idea, which is brilliant. She's very pragmatic. And I'm like, whatever you want. Like, thank you for marrying me. I appreciate that. That's good. I will go along with anything. So, yeah. But hopefully it clears up and we can do the whole stag do at Warhammer World playing Blood Bowl. That would be cool. But I know that
would be good. Nottingham is
bottom of the Stunty Cup at the moment, I think, in the tier rankings. So I don't... I think like Nottingham is one of the bits that's properly locked down. So I don't know. We've got 6 months. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right, let's talk some more Blood Bowl nonsense, Ben. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, so our first proper topic for today is going to be talking about this idea that we had ages ago and it's been bandied about a couple of times, turbo leagues. So before we move on, Ben, do you have any idea what I mean by turbo leagues?
Since I've seen the show notes, vague idea. When you first approached it, I'm just like, what is that?
So it's a cracking time to bring this back up to the forefront because Wobble is about to hopefully progress with starting up a little mini league again. And I think there's probably going to be a load of places that are itching to get theirs going one way or the other. And one thing about Tabletop League versus Online League is the grind takes months. And months and months. And we're in a situation now where we're not likely to be able to play multiple games very often. So if you've got a league that played every week, I mean, we had a league that played every week. That is now not going to be the case because limited numbers means we're kind of splitting it up a bit. We've got a maximum of 10. Our league historically floated between kind of like 15 to 25 people. So I imagine what's going to happen is we'll play every other week. So there'll be like a group of guys who go one week and then those who didn't get to play go the next week. Ian is kind of sorting that out with regards to making it fair so that everyone can come along and play games. So realistically, it's going to be 2 games a month. And we're in a brand new rule set with a brand new development system. And
yes,
there will be people out there who I think want to progress their teams as quickly as possible. And turbo leagues was an idea that I've seen before many places. So basically, how do you go around advancing your teams faster than normal? So you get that league development, you get that player development more than anything. So I thought it was worth just having a bit of a chat about what you can do or what the different ways are to run a kind of turbo league. So, and I really love to get your opinion on these, Ben, as we go through a couple of the different examples. So the first one is, what would happen if you just doubled the SPP for everybody? So for everything. So touchdown, 6 SPP. Casualty, 4 SPP. With a view of looking at Blood Bowl 2020, what do you think about that?
Like in theory, like on paper, immediately I just think, well, we'll just people level up twice as fast, but I think it would be more than that, right? Because you could spread them out a lot easier. So like, kind of like you say, it's 6 SPP from a single touchdown. Beforehand, you would kind of, to get a level on a dude, you would need to do multiple. Oh no, it's 3 SPP now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think, or to get up to 6 SPP choice, you just need to do that with one guy. And then you can do the second one with another guy. I think it would actually have a bigger impact on the game than we think. Like it would still, you guys would double up twice as fast, but it will spread it out. It'd be a lot easier to spread stuff out, I feel. Yeah.
I think you're right there. I mean, when you look at the Blood Bowl 2020 leveling up system and things like that, now there's like multiple choices. So, like Ben said, in the olden times, well, actually, not even the olden times. Of the times now, you score a touchdown, you get 3 SPP. Now in Blood Bowl 2020, that means you have that choice of going, I will take a random skill, or I'll save up for the next one. If you're going to do a turbo league with double SPP because you want to get people advancing and everything like that, it's a great way to do it, but you're going to have those spiky players be even spikier. So the War Dancers are going to take literally, I mean, when we talked about stat ups and stuff, Ben, War Dancers were one of the few that were just like, I will take anything on this guy.
Yeah.
Whether it's move, strength, agility, passing. Well, not passing, but you get to swap that down for one of the other stuff. So, you know, a War Dancer to get to 18 SPP is only 3 touchdowns. He can do that in a game. If you're going to double the SPP. So, one of the biggest downsides of Turbo Leagues is that what do you do with them afterwards? Now, Ben, you're kind of a pro at campaign systems, having built at least a couple for 40k and stuff. Those tend to be self-contained, don't they?
Yeah, it's usually within a small group.
So Blood Bowl, from a league point of view, is pretty open, and it's kind of there's kind of like a a single standard format for League. There's not a lot of variation. There's often a little bit of variation, but there's not a lot. Like, if you join a league, you know that someone's had to play 27 games to get to, I don't know, 1600 TV, and you know that they've put in the man hours. If you were to run a Turbo League for, I don't know, say 3 months, 6 games, 3 months, what we're going to do is we're going to double SPP earned by anybody. How would you feel about the teams afterwards? If the world returned to normal and you went back to regular League, what would you do with the teams? Would you allow them? Would you ban them? Would you end them? What would you do?
You are right. It's like, well, again, theoretically they'd be okay because they'd just be really high team value. But yeah, they'd be really strong. Like, it would kind of almost feel unfair, I feel, in a way. I don't know, if I started a new team and it went up against one that had like essentially triple the number of games in its bag. That's a big gap. And we've already had that issue of like when it comes to redrafting into new leagues.
Redrafting.
About the team disparity, and we've had to try and find ways to adjust that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to another extreme. So it'll be almost like, yeah, maybe this is kind of just for a one-shot turbo.
So if you do that, on the one hand, it's like, cool, this is a great way to get to grips with the new SPP system, with the new league system. It's a great way to try out your Dark Elf team for 6 games and see how it goes. But League players hate that feeling of loss.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this before with regards to why does it feel so bad to foul in person in a league? Well, because it's taken 9 months to build up that player to level 2. Like, it's taken 9 months of my life. When online, you can just spam stuff, and there's so many games that actually you've got TV matching, and most of the time it stays pretty close. If you've got a league, you rock up, you've got James's Dwarves who are 1560, you've got my Skaven who are, 1600, and you're rocking up with a new team. Ugh, that's just rubbish.
There's only so far star players can take you in that situation.
And they've got better as the TV's got lower and they've got special powers, but they are not going to overcome 600 TV, really. Even with Grek and Crumbleberry.
Yeah.
Who I do recommend in every situation. He's my new wizard. Okay, so there's the double SPP version of Turbo League, but as you've rightly identified, Ben, it's going to feel weird if you keep those teams forever. So if you take a situation where it's like, we're going to play this league, guys, the teams are going to die afterwards. You're not going to be able to keep them because they are weird. Why not at that point, it kind of almost feels like a match, kind of like a match play situation, like a tournament situation, like what we did with when I played in Lockdown Bowl, which was run by Rob Secret Carnage. It was just a 4-game league. And you built stuff and they developed and they died and you suffered, and that was it, and it was gone at the end of it. And it was fine because it was online. But in person, you kind of either want to play a practice game for the sake of practice game with nothing fun, or a competitive reset game or a short-term game like a match play game. I think you and I have spoken about this on the podcast, like, have a standardized version of match play where you rock up and we're going to play a 6-week league where it's going to be 1200 TV constructed. Here's your restrictions. Like, at that point, I don't know, what do you think the difference is between saying, hey, we're going to have these increased SPPs but we're getting rid of it, and let's just gung-ho, you can build a team of 1200 TV, have at it?
Well, I think with the double XP, at least you're still leveling up your dudes, and you have the element of choice. It feels progressive, and that's I think the appeal of League play in general is progressing. I think just having a flat number each time, there's just no progression, and obviously that progression is slightly stunted when you're saying, yeah, they're going to be wiped to the end of it. It's kind of, it is a sense of almost what's the point.
Yeah. Definitely play your elves differently that way.
Oh, definitely. That's a really good point, actually. It will lead to whole new play styles, I feel. Passing might be more frequent if you want to give it to someone else to then get a level up.
Yeah, especially if you're turboing it.
Yeah. I think Yeah, I had a point. It's gone. Come back to me.
No worries. It's quite funny because we say that, but Rick, the Iron Man, he played elves in a tournament, I think, and he was like, he in a resurrection tournament, maybe it's sevens. I can't remember what he was playing them for. I think it might have been sevens, and he was like, he loved it because he was like, I am doing stuff with these elves I would never do in league because I'm just going to go and put that guy in a horrible position because I know it doesn't matter because he's just coming back.
He's free.
Yeah, because it's not going to cost me. And I do think the element of that, I think that's why League just feels a bit more personal, is because that risk reward, it's not just your game, it is the next 3 games. It's I need to play tight here to maximize my win percentage for the next round, and I think
it's a costly gamble.
Seriously, you know this from elves. I mean, I'm talking about this from a Skaven point of view. You know, my linemen do not last at all. I'm very lucky with my gutters, to be honest, but Blitzer number 2 and lineman 3, 4, 5, they all die every time, and it's just brutal, and it's just okay. You know, I think one of them has actually just been renamed Victim, the third or something. just farm him off and just replace him. We don't even change his jersey. But okay, so that's some of the angles when it comes to turbo leagues and some of the benefits. What about league seeding? So this is something we did discuss on Wobble, and I think we talked about it last week, and I don't think it's going to go ahead because I don't want to add the complexity. I don't think if we're going to be working in smaller groups of people, I'm not always going to be there, and I think I'd rather just limit it. But, you know, starting off with Tier 1 gets 6 SPP, Tier 2 gets 9, Tier 3 gets 12 SPP, and you can seed them around your players. What do you think to that, to getting to a little bit of a boost, getting to grips with the system?
I like this one a lot more, and I like it especially that you're saying before the league, because I think it gives you an idea of how stuff is going to level up and how you'd want to play in your first game. Knowing like, oh, okay, so all I really like, let's say you took 3 SPP and you took a random skill on a guy and they got a really cool skill. You think, actually, rolling random is pretty good, and maybe I only need the 3 SPP on this person. Maybe I don't need to go the whole hog to try and get to 6. I think it will give you a little bit of insight, or sort of foresight more, into what to do.
And that's what we're trying to... that's the whole point of Turbo Leagues. You've got 2 angles. One normally is to get the league experience with less input, and the second is to try and figure out how stuff works. Like, it's real tough to take a league team, to sink 3 months into it, just to find out that you don't really like how they play.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is what happened with Badlands Brawl. So we did like an escalation campaign for Age of Sigmar. We did 1 game a month, and we started with this, but you had to keep your list and just add to it. I started my first game. Half my list was just horrible. I didn't enjoy it, and I was stuck with that forever, and it was just rubbish. And the whole thing just fell apart because everyone had these lists where it was like, oh yeah, this unit is not really that great. I'd really like to change my list, but I can't because we're now in the middle of this thing, and it was just a bit rubbish. So I kind of like the idea of a turbo league or some kind of boost so that you can get in the space of 3 games a kind of a feel of what the team would be like after 9, you know, after 6 games, like to get to that. I don't know, I think a lot of teams start humming at kind of like 1150, 1200. Like really, they start to have personality. They start to be your team at that point. And I think helping players get there is really good. But the choice makes it feel more matched play. Because if you say, right, you can bring a team, you start at 1200, but 100 of that is on skills. It's funny because we were talking about it in the group, and this is why in the end we're probably going to pull the plug. It's because someone was like, oh sweet, I can spend those SPP and get leader on this guy so I can reuse the cash to buy something else. And it's like, all right, now we're in tournament mode, and that's not what we're trying to get after here. We're trying to get after league but quicker.
Yeah, but you could always do a blanket ban saying you can't use these for leader or something.
Yeah.
I think actually what you were saying with the Age of Sigmar thing, where you said sort of halfway through you realise it's not really for me. Maybe you're right in saying that we don't start with this injection at the beginning. We play a game or 2 games, and then you could even say, you know, oh, this new season has brought in a ton of new fans, and everyone gets 16 SPP. So you instead start slow, then everyone gets an injection at the same time, and then it ramps it up.
That's not bad, actually.
Game 3 or something.
So this was the other thing about Turbo League, is what if every player, or you just have such an incredible amount that you start off with X SPP on everybody, every single player,
just everyone.
Basically, I would probably say that it's something more akin to 30 SPP per team, as opposed to 6 or something. Kind of like that, where you can have multiple people level up multiple times, and you kind of start in like a fresh season. The other way to do this is by drafting, like drafting skills and things as a group. Is also not. It's quite an interesting way of doing it. So whether you do it online, you just
love
pick.
A draft.
I do love drafting. I think it's great. I think there needs to be more drafting in Blood Bowl somehow. I don't know. I love the idea of developing your team, developing its identity, but we're in Blood Bowl 2020, and I don't know. I can see a lot of lost time happening with players who are either going to take their old team and find out that it's different now, which I am worried about. I think there's going to be a couple of coaches there who are playing their team and it just doesn't do what it used to do because it got better at something else normally, which is something really cool. I mean, Goblins is a cracking example of this, where it was the team you kept to 800 so you could farm out that TV to get stars, and that was your game. Buy stars, buy bribes, have lols. Well, now Goblins don't do that. Like, you
still bribes, but
still bribes, but it's just stuff. Macron announces nightly curfew in major French cities as COVID-19 sages. Okay, thank you. Breaking news. All right, came in through on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, someone said something on Twitter." No, it was just France having a terrible time.
Just Macron.
Yeah, everyone in France, take care, including Rick and all his family.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. Turbo Leagues, I think, are great. And one of the first examples of it IRL I saw was when Rich Saxby went down to play in the Entoyment League. And I think they all started at 1100. They had a couple of skill ups, or someone got a random skill up at the beginning, and everyone had those cards. Like, you draw two cards a game, and it kind of gave it a boost. And I quite like the idea of that because, as you know, the benefit of League is you get to build something. So, I don't know. Any more thoughts on Turbo Leagues, Ben?
No, that's about it. I just think it's definitely worth considering, and like you say, especially in a climate where we might all get less games, making them all count more is really quite nice.
Getting more bang for your time is.
I'm a bad person to talk about it though, because I am addicted to starting new things, and I am not the person to carry a team to 200 games because I'll be like, oh, and I haven't played with Underworld yet. Well, it's time for that.
Well, that's a really good point. What if with your Turbo League teams, or in a league for in perpetuality, I can't remember the word, how to say it. Your first 6 games you get double SPP, and then it carries on. So you can join a league.
That would be pretty good for getting up to the major league stuff that we often had to do.
You join a league, and your first 6 games are double SPP. That's going to benefit some teams. It's going to not benefit others. But it kind of gives you a bit of an even playing field. Maybe it's just 3 games, So you can rock up. You can try Necro for 3 games and then go, I really would rather play Dwarves. And you get that 1, 2, 3 game boost. I don't know.
That's a proper mobile game way of looking at it. I like it, actually.
Yeah, and then you can pay for gems, and if you use 50 gems, you get extra SPP.
Time skip. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know.
Monetize Wobble now.
We could do it. We have Wobble dollars. That's what this is all going to be working towards. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a genius idea. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think on Turbo Leagues, whether it's a good idea, bad idea, what you can be used for, and how you're going to get the most out of your Blood Bowl 2020 playing time, because it's going to be a little while before Blood Bowl 3 is here, and it's going to be a little while before everyone can play leagues as regularly as we would like. So we need to make our games count as best as possible. And on that, actually, you know what? Let us know if you'd like to see more Blood Bowl 2020 11's coverage or Blood Bowl 2020 7's coverage. because we can farm out Sevens games like nobody's business, but the full-sized games take literally twice as long to do and twice as long to edit. So it's almost 3 games of Sevens or 1 game of 11s. And I don't know, I've had a few games of 2020, and I am thinking that Sevens will be buzzing for it. So I don't know. Let us know your thoughts, because I miss Sevens already. And 11s is great. I'm looking forward to the league, but I don't know. There is just something about 3 games for 1 that is just utter value for me.
That's good. Really good.
I love Sevens. I'm sitting there looking at my Sevens pitch. Anyway, we'll take a little break and we'll be back with our next topic. And we're back, and we're just going to spend a little time here now wish listing about stuff that we want to see from Blood Bowl 2020 and stuff we kind of expect to see. So put it out on every channel imaginable that we have to see what you guys wanted to see added to Blood Bowl 2020 or to happen, because I think we kind of got talking about this the other day, Ben, where it's like what happens next with Blood Bowl 2020 is kind of open. It's open to Games Workshop. And this is the thing that is actually might scare some people. The last 4 teams to be released were new teams. Okay? 2 of them haven't landed yet, but Old World Alliance, Snotlings, Black Orcs, Imperial Nobility. They are all new teams. Every team we got this year was new. Except,
and to some extent, like tweaked newer, older ones as well.
So Necro and Underworld,
factor in,
both got tweaked. So all right, let's up that to 6 teams. Are different.
Old World Alliance, did you include that one?
Yeah. Old World, one of the 4 new.
You did, yeah.
That's Snotlings, Imperial Nobility, and Black Orcs are all brand new teams. So there's still a few teams missing. So Chaos Dwarf, Amazon, Norse, Vamps, Khemri. One more team I'm missing, probably.
High Elf.
Oh yeah, there you go. That was Ben. That was not personal. But you know, I love High Elves.
It's the one with the feather. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, this is it. So straight off the bat, we've got this preview coming out today as this episode airs. So hopefully one of us can follow up and get on the social medias as it lands to get our thoughts out. I think that spoiler might be High Elves. You know.
I think I was sort of ripping on it earlier on, but the more I think about it, the silhouette is pretty High Elf. Standing there with a helmet is pretty High Elf. I don't know enough about Warhammer to be feather. Like, we haven't seen that feather in Nobility, but I don't know enough about Warhammer to know if feather is a High Elf thing.
I can see them being fancy. Well, the good thing about this is that quite a lot of people who have messaged us saying what they want to see is the old teams, get the old teams back in. So
I think that's what a lot of people just really want. They want reassurance they can use their existing stuff.
And that's it. And let's talk about this for a second. Should Games Workshop give a flying monkeys about that? Do they?
I think yes. I think from a corporate and financial perspective, they have no incentive to. But for a customer service and being nice, I think they should. The Teams of Legend will be nice. We still don't know if that's 100% going to be a thing properly.
We've heard rumours that it is confirmed, but a rumour that confirms something is still a rumour. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
know. It's not set in stone saying yes, you can use your existing teams. We don't know what that encompasses yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm right there. I would like all the missing teams to come back, but I want to see them all get a tweak one way or another.
So how do you feel about people with third-party teams? Let's say a nice expensive one from Grebo, which then won't be compatible with.
Dude, I got the Vortice Khemri arriving in December.
True. Would you be miffed if they added a new positioner which you didn't
have? It's tough, isn't it? I mean, I don't think that plays into Games Workshop one way or the other, which I think is kind of nice. I know it always feels like they've done this to upset the third parties, But I don't think they really care that much about it, because if they publish a rulebook, so say they bring out High Elves now, and they publish it when they come out, say they do the PDF.
Okay.
Those teams that they don't sell is going to force everybody who wants to play them to go out and get models. They are not all the teams that are missing are not easy to build out of Games Workshop stuff, with the exception of the High Elves. But then again, getting a hold of High Elf heads, man, is not.
Yeah, it was still an eBay job.
Yeah, not easy. Chaos Dwarves, not easy. Vampires, not easy. Amazons and Norse, not easy to do well. I mean, the Chaos Marauders were classic for Norse, but realistically, that does not look as good as the options currently. So this is why I'm kind of reticent to expect that PDF on launch, because it's a nice to have, but it really nets them nothing when it comes to new players, and Games Workshop are there to entice new players. That's your in-app purchase, Ben, if we're going to talk about that.
There you go.
That's your in-app purchase. They want new stuff. So I fully expect to see a High Elf team, but I don't know 100% if we're going to see those rules until they land. But I would like them to land. But that's the other thing, is if they want those teams in, I can see them tweaking them a bit as well. And yes, that would suck if you've got a third-party team. I don't know. I just don't think it marries up with Games Workshop marketing or the Games Workshop identity at the moment, because they don't do that for any other game anymore. AT, Adeptus Titanicus, Necromunda, that stuff, you don't get rules unless the models are out or coming very soon. And I think
they did that a lot with 40k, where like they pretty much axed everything that doesn't have a model. Yeah,
well, I think they even axe like most of the stuff that you don't come in the box with options. That was terrible English.
Yeah.
But basically, they can only have the weapons that the model comes with, or we sell the upgrades for. Because it's good for it's easy for the new players who can't, it's difficult for them to go and source other stuff. And it also just doesn't line their pockets. So
yeah, I think it does, like, without getting too much into it, I think there's an element of creativity that gets a bit sapped away with it.
A little bit.
I think having an option saying this is cool, it'd be cool to see what you come up with the stuff we've given you. But then it just encourages other people to scrounge off the IP, doesn't it?
It's really interesting. I mean, what do you think, Ben? Straight up now, do you think we're going to get a PDF? And do you think those teams, if we do, are going to be exactly the same as they are now, positional wise?
Yes.
You think we're going to get a PDF, and you think it's going to be bang on?
I think they're Warhammer Legends it, where they say, here's a passing stat, here is a keyword. We will never update these again.
Ooh, interesting.
I think that's what they'll do with it.
I hope we'll see a PDF. I have my doubts, but I really hope we see a PDF. And I think you're right though, Ben. If they do come up with a PDF, it will be what we've got now with worse passing stats, and a bit of a price increase on stuff. And I think that'll be enough for the community. And I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then they can release Amazons next year when they want to. And here's the new list for them. Actually, we've listened to Ben for the Bonehead Podcast, and we got rid of 2 blitzers and gave him a Croxagore instead. We made them a little bit more varied. We got rid of the Berserker from the we got rid of the Thrower from the Norse team. Because they had 75 positionals and it was weird, and these are great tweaks they can land. I think of all the rosters, Chaos Dwarves are probably the only one that's like bang on. It's great. Got a Minotaur.
It's a proper GW roster, really.
Got Bull Centaurs.
Actually, Khemri I think are pretty solid.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, Khemri and Chaos Dwarves I think could land as they are now, and be what they always were. Like. Yeah. I'm on board with that. I think we'll see some cost decreases from Khemri in the same way we saw with Nurgle, and I think we'll see a cheeky bit of cost increases with Chaos Dwarves like we have with some of the other, real good teams. Vamps.
We mentioned this, I think, actually last week with the new teams coming in. Sorry, while you had the Amazon point, we've now got that Lustrian keyword.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of touched a bit on it in the last episode, where we said it really opens up the scope to new stuff, because now they don't need to say, they don't need to have this star player plays for this. They don't have to then add anything to that.
Yeah.
They just can have a new team with a keyword, and they already have access to the whole library.
So there's a couple of keywords there that don't do anything at all. So World's Edge Super League is dwarves, and there's like 2 dwarf star players, and and dwarves are in Old World something or other anyway, that are in the Old World League. So it's completely superfluous. There is no reason for it to be there at the moment, unless they land a Slayer team, which is another one that was high up there in the wish lists. Which I thought was pretty cool. Where's the one I was reading about?
People like Slayers, don't they?
Yeah, it was really cool. I was really excited to see it. Someone was like, want to see a Slayer team, want to see a Squig team. I want to see all this stuff going out. Oh, there was so much. For Dungeon Bowl, Plastic Rat Ogre, that was cool.
Yeah, that'd be quite good.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's missing that they need. One guy said, return of dirty play cards. They were so much fun and added attention. And then there's just people screaming Khemri. Which is great. And I think that games, they do that in every game. They're Khemri and 40k, or is that squats, do you reckon?
Okay, I was going to say, well, it's more Necrons if you're going from a design thing, but...
I know from I miss these guys.
Oh, yeah, it's squats, really. It was Sisters of Battle for a long time, but that's different now.
Dungeon Bowl. So, Ben, over to you. Hit me with something on your Blood Bowl 2020 wish list.
Okay, so speaking of new stuff coming in, something I've put down is integration with Blood Bowl 3.
Ooh.
So we know that's coming. We've seen the trailer, and I actually really like it. I think it's very Blood Bowl tongue-in-cheek. Looks graphically similar to the previous one, but I think it's quite interesting to see the actual Games Workshop models in the game. So now it's very much one and the same, and there's going to be using Blood Bowl 2020 stuff. You've got Nobility and Black Orcs in there, so it seems all very up to date. I would like to see that continue, so that
every spike,
the digital version is the same as the tabletop. Because currently it's really kind of not.
Oh man, it is. It was difficult when we did that corn stuff. I had to go back in time and download Blood Bowl 1, the special second yellow Pikachu version, just to get corn. And I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. And it would work great from a spike 3 monthly, every quarter. Here's the spike. It's going to be the High Elf spike next year, and we're going to see the High Elf guys added to Blood Bowl 3 all about the same time, in the same way that Magic the Gathering does it.
Yes, exactly, and that's why I put it down.
Oh, really?
I've been playing Magic Arena lately,
exactly,
and it's just like, this is great. It's the same thing.
It's about the same time, and you get that experience. And I hope that they've learned that this whole pandemic situation has meant that there is a really beneficial, having it integrated like you're talking about, Ben, is really beneficial, because you stay engaged with the product if you're playing the games. We may not have bought physical copies of Magic the Gathering cards, but we've been playing on Arena, and that means we haven't stopped playing Magic. In fact, Ben started playing Magic because the current product is up to date and he can play, and then when we come back into the real world, there's a chance he'll carry on playing on tabletop. And Games Workshop getting that from Blood Bowl is, and I guess I'm going to be really honest with you, Blood Bowl 2020 has kind of killed Blood Bowl 2 for me. I haven't played it since the stuff came out. Like, I've been so focused on Blood Bowl 2020 in my limited spare time that I don't know, the thought of playing Blood Bowl 2 seems a little bit pointless at the moment.
I saw a thing literally today on Facebook, which was a guy saying, yeah, it's cheap on Xbox, I just bought it. And someone was just like, there's no point, dude. It's which was a shame. And people obviously saying, no, people are still playing it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it was like,
loads of
it
people
is a thing.
Like,
it. But it's the old rules now. People are saying, no, it's the old rules. There's no point.
For me, it's kind of ended it. Like, we're in this weird realm now where it's Schrodinger's cat. At some point it's going to die, but we don't know when. So I don't know, it's weird. So I'm with you, Ben. I think that's a great bit of wish listing there, that they keep them up to date, and I really think they can and they should.
I added a little bit into it, saying what would really be the icing on the cake, which will never happen because it's two entities. There's a publisher involved with the game, and Games Workshop are pretty hands off when it comes to video games. But having a link between a digital and physical purchase,
Ooh.
That would be cool. Like, even if
Ooh.
it's a discount code or something like that for the game, if you buy the physical team, or if you just unlock the physical team in the game, or if you don't unlock the digital in the game, buying the physical.
Like the
Not gonna
Pokemon
happen.
TCG.
That's not how money works.
Like the Pokemon
Yeah,
card
exactly.
game thing where you get this little QR code booster.
You get a pack.
Yeah, it's genius. Can you imagine that if they put little QR codes in Blood Bowl teams?
It would be good, but again, it's different companies get the revenue stream, so it's this won't happen. But it's a cool idea.
It would be very cool if you could integrate your tabletop league with your Blood Bowl 3 league. That is never going to happen, not in a kind of like an open remit, but if you've set up a mini league and you can input SPPs and stuff, that would be absolutely winning. In fact, that was something that we saw a lot in these wish list replacements, is an online system that has more options to run a league and stuff like that. That was a really good point. I really like that. So one wish list thing for me, which is probably, I don't know, I can see it happening, but I just think it's too far down the list, is so Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. They did a competitive rules version called Arena, which had specific boards and rules for playing quicker, well, like kind of like a competitive format kill team. Blood Bowl 7's being released in that vein from Games Workshop as a kind of kill team arena style. Hey, this is Blood Bowl, but Blood Bowl in an hour, and here's the competitive format for it. Man, I just think that would be I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. I can't see it happening, but
I don't know. They could do something like a Warhammer World or something. Just a one dayer where it's this new thing.
I just think it's there and right, because. But I also think that they've taken up that point with Blitz Bowl. Everywhere except England. Cheers for that, guys.
So bizarre.
Everywhere except England. I don't know. I think they drop a £40 Blood Bowl 7's box set. Actually, I don't know why it would need to be that much, but it's Games Workshop. So £40, with a Blood Bowl 7's pitch and probably nothing else in it. £40. I think they've just got money there, and I think it's a great format. It'll be I love 7s. I miss it significantly, and I think it's a great way to get loads of reps in, loads of quick games in, and you experience the teams. I just think it's a really modern way to play Blood Bowl, I guess is my way of saying it. And that was also what someone said for Blood Bowl 3, was like, I would love them to do a Dungeon Bowl variant, which they have confirmed that they're not planning at the moment, because I spoke to them on Twitter, actually. Thanks to Lee. He was like, hey, he said something, and it was like, yeah. Anyway, we had a little chat on Twitter, and Cyanide will not be, or Blood Bowl 3 will not be looking at Dungeon Bowl. Anyway, Ben, what's next on your wish list?
I've gone for themed leagues / narrative campaigns. So we did an episode about themed leagues, what seems like 15 years ago, of having you could set it in Lustria or set it in Albion or something like that.
Yep.
I would love for Games Workshop to do campaign stuff, and this goes into all of their games.
Yes. Like,
they do it very light. They don't go that hardcore into it, but I would just love them to say, okay, this is Blood Bowl season 408, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
the year is 2440, whatever.
Yes, exactly. And this is going on in the world. I don't know, something to do with people are flocking to a certain part of the world. There's like a big tournament going on, and your team wants to make the qualifying round, like the World Cup almost. And you've got all these extra rules and stuff and sponsorships, and you've got this campaign that goes on, and you could even play other leagues, like we've done inter-league stuff, and you could have that matched like a global campaign. Now, how cool would that be? I would just love for this kind of stuff. Just go all out, all wild. Have some narrative stuff. You can monetize it how you want, Games Workshop. I know that's what matters, but it's just you can. I would just love to see something like this, where I have everything mattering in a big world.
I love that, dude, and I think I'm going to one up you, or at least I'm going to build on that and say what I would like is for something like that. So hey, this is the Lustria Cup 2021, and in that there are adjustments to teams. there are adjustments to teams. So actually, during the Lustria Cup, these teams rerolls cost more. These teams rerolls cost less. This, there's 0 to 8 Saurus in a Lustria League team because they're more prevalent. Dwarves don't have tackle; they have armbar. Armbar. I saw on your notes.
Oh yeah, I put that on the notes. Yeah.
In this league, and it creates like a little sub version, which I know we've talked about repeatedly, because I love the idea of doing more with the same models, which apparently Games Workshop like doing too. Thank you very much, Old World Alliance. I think it's a great way to have a source book. £20. This is the Lustria campaign. Everyone's gonna buy. Well, not everyone, but a third of every league is gonna buy that. Even just like an online, like rolling over thing. They did this when I started playing 40k. It was about 2014, 2015. They did this thing. I remember seeing it in the shops where it was like you mark your games you played in the shop, and it goes to like a growing campaign. Yep. And like weekly, they would announce like something going on. I think that would be really cool for this, where everyone around the world, if they want to be, can be playing in this Lustria Cup. And then they say an event happens, and they publish that on the community, or maybe in a White Dwarf or something like that. They publish it, and then this will impact your game. Like there was, I don't know, an earthquake or something like that, and that's going to affect your games. Or like dinosaurs ravaged the pitch, and you got to watch out for like a carnosaur coming on the pitch halfway through or something. Yeah. No, I'm absolutely. I love that idea. And something else that someone put in there was saying we'd like to see some stories to go alongside a team developing in the league. Oh, I missed it. Come on, Facebook. You can do it. Comment is here. We'd love to have storybooks following teams' initial start in Blood Bowl and all that's happened to them until present day, i.e. titles won, famous players, etc., etc. And a bunch of guys are like, love this idea. It's the narrative side of Blood Bowl, and I think Games Workshop it's all about whether they've got the time to make it. I think as much as they make, people will absolutely farm in on it. Yeah. Okay. Time, resources, and that's it. If it's not going to make money, it's not going to be done. Oh, yeah. Which I do understand. It is a business. I entirely understand it's a business. Yeah. Despite how we all feel about Games Workshop, they are a business. One thing I really loved from the comments was someone was like, a proper giant team. Giants are in Blood Bowl fluff, and there's giant teams and stories and whatnot. And he was like, a proper giant team with like 3 or 4 proper giants, 2x2 squares, and some just humans or whatever to go along with them, just hobgoblin level guys. And I don't know, Games Workshop have this giant fetish at the moment, so it's great. I would love a giant team, and I would too. I can't see them doing it. I can see them doing a half giant team, like the ogre team. If you look at the size of that, actually, if they same sprues but 2 giants in a box, and I don't know, a bunch of tiny stunty anything. Could be Albion, so you could have fairies or pixies or something, little folk, gnome people or something just like that. You could have that in a box, 2 giants, 10 little dudes, very similar to stunties. You could have 2 boxes, you get your 4 giants and max out on giants and do that. I don't know, I think there's a market there. Plus we all know that the AOS guys love cross-pollinating models. I just think there's so much design space there that they could cross over there and do that team. Would be truly unique as well. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many teams that would find it easy to kind of build that. I mean, you could just print one, Ben, but otherwise, not a lot. Right. Was there anything else from your wish list, Ben? That's about it. We've covered a lot. It's more, to be honest, the final thing on the wish list. I just want it to arrive. Oh man, yeah. Well, I'm going to turn that into a real, genuine point. Is the roadmap that they did for Underworlds? I want to see that for Blood Bowl, please. Just give us the roadmap for the next 9 months. Yeah. Like, hey, transparency. Yeah, just why not? Like, I get it that there's a chance of third party, and with Underworlds it comes with the cards and stuff, so you can't go, oh, there's a what did they do? Was it Nurgle or something? They were like, hey, there's this Underworlds team coming, this warband coming. No one was like, quickly go build one so that we don't have to buy it when it comes out. It was like, cool, it's going to be unique. I'll wait for those rules. And I don't think, we said this about nobility and Black Orcs, and yet Grebo have done a Black Orc team, and Norba have done a new human nobility team, but it was really designed after Bretonnians. It just, and that's what I mean.
I think the thing with the newer GW stuff, though, what makes them more attractive is they are going more in the line where you buy the box, you get your team. Whereas previously it was less like that, and that's what made a lot of third parties very attractive.
Yeah, so. You're right, and a lot of Kickstarters as well, which we saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll wrap up with a couple of bits. It was David Burrows that said this. It was like all about the Blood Bowl, how to run your league and stuff like that. I like that. That was really, really good. Some people talking about tournament builds and having star players. Someone said they want halfling blitzers with G access, which I thought was quite cool. But most of what people want is Teams of Legends ASAP. More star players. Bring the old star players down. I want Slan. I want Slan too, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. There's so much cool stuff that people want, and it's really low bar. It is just to build on what we've got already.
Yeah, they've done a nice flatten reset. They've got a strong foundation now, and they can only build on it. And I think that's really exciting. They're not having to go back and redo anything now. They've just done it. They've kind of just said, here is a brand new start. It's still Blood Bowl. We've played a couple of games. It's still Blood Bowl.
Oh yeah,
it's just going to have. There's just so much more scope now, and I think that's quite exciting.
And hopefully, those of you who've watched the couple of games that we've put on YouTube can tell that it's mostly just Blood Bowl. It feels a bit fresher. It's funny. It's a weird way to say it, but just having stuff be ever so slightly different really does make it feel new, and we're miles away from being able to solve the Blood Bowl 2020 meta from a tournament point of view, although we've got a new series coming next week which is all about tournament builds, so similar to the starting rosters but for various tournaments out there. So we're looking at 1100 build and 1200 builds, because the way I see it, there's going to be 1150 and 1250 maybe. So really what you can do is you can just tweak the list up or down. So some of what we think are the best tournament builds for those tournaments ready for next year to reopen again. And it'll be interesting to go in and solve that. But I think, so we've talked about some wild stuff that we would love, Ben. Let's start with this Saturday. What do you think we are going to see?
I think we are going to see a new team.
I agree with you. I agree. And I think that's... I don't want them to. I want them to let's just catch up with what we've got right now, because we've moved so fast in Blood Bowl in the last 2 months. I don't even know, when did it all land? When did all the spoilers start? 3 weeks ago?
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was not a very long time ago at all, and we haven't really started playing it. The rules aren't out yet, and I know that they like to look far ahead, and this is what we're going to do, and then it's going to be this, then it's going to be this, then it's going to be this, and you don't really stop and think about what it is now. But one thing that Blood Bowl players like to do is enjoy what we've got right now. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. I am feeling that, and you know me, Ben, I'm like a crazy, let's go do this, let's go change things. But you can't change things if there's no normal. You can't be abnormal. And we have always prided ourselves on going after the abnormal stuff in Blood Bowl. Let's change these rules, let's do this team, let's try this out, let's have wizards everywhere. That's kind of how we've done things, and right now we are probably the most normal Blood Bowl out there, because normal Blood Bowl is now very abnormal. Where is it?
A bit of a head start.
Breaking news, new edition of Blood Bowl leaked 2 months ago. Let's get this, August the 2nd. So yeah,
it's just over 2 months.
Just over 2 months ago was when it landed. Look at that, when the green screen worked properly. Those are the days. I used to stream and everything. It's good. It's all changed. It's all massive. It's been a heck of a 2 months. I'm with you, Ben. I want it to land. I want to have it. And I do think, though, we're going to see a new team. I think you're right. But I wonder if it's just going to be a couple of miniatures that are genuinely 6 months out. And they're like, well, we were going to spoil Blood Bowl 2020, but now we have to kind of shovel them something else new down the pipeline. So we've got 2 miniatures that are coming out in May next year that we're going to show off now. I wonder.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. It could be a star. It could be a star.
Could be.
I don't think they'll just show like 2 and be like. I think they'd go all the way. They know what the leaks are like now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
That's true. So, as it looks, we could be landing with Necro this month, Blood Bowl 2020 in December, and then this new team, January, February time. That would be a very steady release.
It'll be good.
I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be nice to get time to play with them. And that's where Blood Bowl 3 comes in. Well, we're going to have loads to paint, and hey, good to warm up.
Yeah. Still got like 4 I need to finish before even this Necro comes out, because I'll definitely be getting it.
We just need to play more games, Ben. YouTube has made me paint more stuff than ever before in my life, and I need to keep that up. Keep the
momentum going.
Right, talking about painting and things, I am going to go chill out and paint my Glorial Summer Bloom, I think, because it's a lovely model. Nice. It looks like a nice little project to paint up. And we'll wrap up this episode. Ben, thank you ever so much for joining me again.
Thanks for having me.
Most importantly, have a lovely week off away, painting or
I will enjoy
writing or doing whatever you want to do. Just chill out, enjoy, reset, and when you get back, it'll be like the week brewing up to MegaBowl, hopefully, and then we'll have this spoiler out, and we'll have more Blood Bowl craziness, I have no doubt. And I think it's exciting. Right. Thanks very much, guys, for listening, for joining us. We will catch you again soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.